Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NXT Way Back Wednesday reviews. This week, I'm going to be reviewing NXT from January 10th, 2013. The reason why I picked this one is because I did in the first episode was the previous week's to this episode talk about messing up, but I'm not going to review this video. But yeah, so pretty much everything on that episode built to this episode, so that's why I picked this one, and because it'd be kind of stupid if I didn't watch it. So that's exactly why I chose it. So I'm just going to get right into it. I'm not really going to go into too much detail of the backstory, because you can just pretty much watch the playlist that I'm going to put down in the description box below, and you can watch the first episode, because I don't feel like going into too much detail about it. So let's get right into it. So we had the commentary team of William Regal and Tom Phillips. I don't think this was Tom Phillips' first time doing commentary, but I'm really not sure, because he wasn't on the previous week's episode, and he was here, and they didn't make it like a big deal or anything. So, but yeah. Obviously, I don't really think Tom Phillips is all that great on commentary. Here, I'll kind of give him a break just because he was probably still new to commentating. William Regal, I think, is actually really good on commentary. I feel like he's someone that's very underrated, because he really hasn't. When he's done commentary, you really didn't get to see a lot of his work, because he mainly just did it in the crappy version of NXT, and then obviously in the early stages before NXT kind of became global. I think the only time because pretty much right when NXT kind of went on the network, he kind of went into the general manager role that he's in now, so that just kind of explains where he is. And Tom Phillips now is, he was pretty much the play-by-play guy for NXT for a while, and then he kind of worked his way up. He was like the play-by-play guy for like 205 Live, NXT, and SmackDown all at once, and now he's only this play-by-play guy for SmackDown and the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-views because of the brand split. And I already kind of explained. William Regal is also like the talent scout of NXT. He goes and gets all the talent that's been signed recently. So that's where William Regal is. He's kind of like a trainer a little bit. And we had the first match on the show. It was Yoshitatsu and Percy Watson versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, with Bray Wyatt ringside, who at the time were all a stable known as The Family. And yeah, this was pretty much, the family were just coming into NXT, so they were trying to make them look strong. So before the match, Bray Wyatt comes out and cuts a promo. Bray Wyatt was pretty much new under this gimmick, and he cuts a promo talking about how they're going to take over NXT and stuff like that. And Harper and Rowan destroy Tatsu and Watson. They really made them look very strong. And Luke Harper beats Yoshitatsu with a discus clothesline, and that was pretty much it. I actually like this here. I thought this was good. It probably doesn't deserve 3 stars, but I'm giving it 3 stars just because I liked it. I thought it was exactly what it should have been. It made Harper and Rowan look like dominant monsters and a force to be reckoned with in NXT. Kind of sucked for Yoshitatsu. He never really got much of an opportunity in WWE. He was pretty much just enhancement talent. I didn't really think he got much of a chance. Percy Watson kind of can take or leave it. As for where all of these guys are now, Yoshitatsu was fired in 2014. I think he's working indie dates now. I'm not really exactly sure. Percy Watson was fired. I think he was fired, and he came back, and now he's one of the commentators for NXT, which is very ironic. And as for the family, they went on to eventually become known as the Wyatt family. They started off really well on the main roster, dominated, and then obviously Bray Wyatt pretty much now has lost every feud that he's been in to all like the big names in WWE, and he just pretty much cuts nonsensical promos, and they don't mean anything because he always loses. As for Harper and Rowan, they've teamed on and off again. Right now they're a tag team known as the Bludgeon Brothers, where they've shortened their names to just Harper and Rowan. So overall, no one really benefited from this match. So it's kind of sad to watch it back. But it was nice to see the Wyatt family when they used to be really good. Then we had Emma versus Paige. This was when Paige was really new to NXT. They were really trying to get over the anti-diva of WWE. She had very generic Walker theme music. I didn't like it. Emma was had just also come into WWE, and she started doing the whole dancing gimmick when she was Emma. Kind of feel bad for Emma because she was actually a pretty good wrestler, but she was kind of screwed over by WWE. Emma works on the leg of Paige. I thought that there was a spot where Emma hit a drop kick on Paige, but eventually Paige wins with a Paige turner. I thought it was a fine match. Probably give it 2.25. And this was when Paige had pretty much both these women came into NXT, and ironically enough, they went on to work some really good matches together. Most notably, the one at NXT Arrival when Paige was defending the NXT Women's Championship because she went on to become the first ever NXT Women's Champion. She's one of the only, I think she's one of the two women or two wrestlers in general to never lose in NXT. She's the only person to hold both the Divas and the NXT Women's Championship, and she's a two-time Divas champion. She pretty much kind of started the women's revolution. Paige and Emma pretty much kind of started the whole women's revolution. It was kind of at its starting stages, and unfortunately for Paige, it was kind of sad for me to watch this this match back, knowing that Paige is now retired, and can't really wrestle anymore. So that was kind of sad because she's had such a up and down thing with, her leaked photos getting leaked, having a crappy boyfriend, and now coming back and getting hurt. Kind of sucks for Paige. As for Emma, really didn't get much of a career either in WWE. Pretty much Emma went up to the main roster. It flopped because no one really understood the gimmick. Came back down to NXT. Had probably the best run of her career when she turned heel and got rid of the dancing thing. Then she got hurt right when she came back up. And then she came back and tried to do the whole Emmalina thing. She didn't really she didn't pass any of the tryouts. Came back just as Emma. And got hurt again. Came back and started to do that stupid thing where she claimed she started the Women's Revolution. And her last match pretty much was on the Monday Night Raw right after TLC, and was released. So kind of sucks for Emma. They made Emma so annoying that I didn't even give a crap that she was released. But you forget that Emma had potential. Both and Paige, I think, was just she was kind of messed up. But I think when women's wrestling started to get really good, unfortunately, she ended up missing most of it. So that kind of sucks. So yeah, it's kind of a bit sad to watch this match knowing that Paige can't wrestle in WWE anymore. I'm assuming she'll probably go wrestle like in ROH or New Japan or something like that. And then Adrian Neville's backstage, and he talks about how he's known as the man that's gravity forgot, and you're going to find out next week when I debut. So yeah, that was pretty much Adrian Neville. Obviously, he went on to become a pretty big star in NXT. He was in the first ever main event match of an NXT special. He won the NXT Championship, became the longest reigning NXT champion for a while, and then had great matches in NXT. He was kind of like the face of NXT. Then he was called up to the main roster, shortened his name to Neville, did nothing with him for a long ass time. They put him in the cruiserweight division. You thought that, and it really invigorated his career. And then he just walked out maybe months ago. It's been 4 months now since he's been gone, and kind of sucks because he was a great talent. So, kind of sucked what happened with Neville. So yeah, but I thought the promo was good. Then we had Primo and Epico versus Michael McGillicuddy and Bo Dallas. This was a match because Primo and Epico tried to beat up Bo Dallas after Dallas defeated Primo, I believe it was, the previous week, and McGillicuddy came out and saved him, so they made it a tag match, or like that this match had a purpose. Primo and Epico get the heat on Dallas for a while. They hit some nice double team tag team moves. One that I want to make note of is when they did the Russian leg sweep takedown combo. I thought that was cool. Then McGillicuddy gets the hot tag on Primo. He takes out Epico. Primo hits a backstabber for the win. I didn't really mind the team that went over because I don't think this made Bo Dallas look too bad since McGillicuddy ate the fall. And Primo and Epico were more of a real tag team at this time, so it was fine. This match was good, 3 stars. Maybe actually it was decent. I'll give it 2 3/4 stars. And as for where both these teams are, Primo and Epico obviously became Los Matadores like about a year after this, and really didn't do much with them. And then they turned into the Shining Stars, where they were con men, and then they became the Colons on the Colognes on SmackDown, and they one of them got hurt, so they couldn't really do anything with them. I actually think they should go back down to NXT because they're actually a pretty good tag team. I think that they seemed like a great tag team back then because there really wasn't a lot of tag teams back then in WWE, but they're actually a decent team. As for Michael McGillicuddy and Bo Dallas, a little bit later on, Michael McGillicuddy would turn into Curtis Axel, be in line with Paul Heyman, become Intercontinental Champion on Father's Day, and then they didn't really do anything with him. He lost it in embarrassing fashion to Big E Langston. And then they didn't really do anything with him for a while. And then obviously, ironically enough, him and Bo Dallas became a tag team together when they were in the Social Outcasts together as in that faction. So I kind of find it funny that they were teaming here. And then obviously they broke up. Axel turned face. And then they are just recently back together. They actually just worked a handicap match against Roman Reigns on Raw this week. So I kind of find it funny how they ended up working together. As for Bo Dallas, he also went on to defeat Big E Langston for the NXT Championship. And he was the longest reigning NXT champion up until Adrian Neville beat him in a ladder match for it. And then obviously he kind of followed the same career path as Michael McGillicuddy. Really didn't do anything on the main roster up until they teamed up. So whatever. And then we had the main event. It was a no disqualification match for the NXT Championship. NXT Champion Seth Rollins versus Big E Langston. Obviously, this match came about when Seth Rollins tried to get out of his NXT title match. So, Commissioner at the time, the American Dream Baby, Dusty Rhodes, put him in a match with Big E Langston and made the match no DQ for some reason. Jim Ross did commentary for this match, and Jim Ross is pretty much a part-time commentator. He's commentated New Japan matches, and he also commentated in some matches recently for WWE. He's going to be commentating the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. And having Jim Ross out there I thought was awesome. Big E at first overpowers Seth Rollins. He hit the gorilla press outside the ring, and he's just dominated him, and then Reigns and Ambrose come out. I'm just going to grab my charger real quick because I thought I could do this without... Hold on. Sorry about that. I thought I could get through this video without charging my computer, but I guess I couldn't. But anyhow, yeah, so Ambrose and Reigns attack Big E Langston. They beat him up. They throw him into the steps. So Seth Rollins dominates him for a bit. And then Big E Langston starts to make his comeback, does the best he can to fight off the Shield, but the Shield overpower him. And the whole NXT locker room run out. Some noticeable names I noticed were in there were... Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, Aiden English, Tyler Breeze. I think Evan Bourne was out there, but I don't really know if he was. Evan Bourne. I don't think who else was out there that was notable. I don't think Evan Bourne was out there though, because he was suspended around this time. It looked like it was Evan Bourne, but I don't think it was. Trying to think of who else was out there. CJ Polka. Guys like that. And they fight off the Shield. And, well, Reigns and Ambrose anyways. So Seth Rollins gets upset about this. He hits a blockbuster, which was like his old finish in NXT. covers Big E. Big E kicks out. And then he goes for it again. Big E Langston turns it into the big ending for the win. And he becomes the new NXT champion. He was like the second ever NXT champion. And the NXT locker room come out and celebrate with him. And then that was the end of NXT. As for where these guys are now, it's kind of funny watching Big E Langston around this time because he's with the New Day now. It's just pretty much where he is. Because he lost the NXT title, did his stint on the main roster. He was actually on the main. Both these guys were pretty much on the main roster on a full-time basis at this point. Langston really didn't wrestle all that much because he was a man pretty much in a bodyguard role at this time, and Rollins was. The Shield had just come into the WWE, so they only wrestled very few matches, and this probably explains why. I liked how Rollins came out with no entrance music either. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if the Shield had entrance music at this time. I think they did because I remember they had that TLC match. But that's besides the point. So Big E Langston, like I said, went on to defeat Curtis Axel for the IC title once he turned face. Then he kind of flopped as an IC champion, lost the title at Extreme Rules 2014. Really didn't do anything for a while. Then he aligned himself with the New Day, and now he's goofy. Like, you wouldn't believe, like, the Big E Langston that was around in 2012 to now is a complete 180, because it's completely different. He's probably such a much better performer now than he was back then. I mean, they booked him more like a monster, but I think he definitely has, like, that it factor that he didn't have before. And then Seth Rollins, obviously, I think this was, like, his last match in NXT, pretty much. I think he pretty much went on to to be a full-time main roster guy. The Shield dominated WWE. They defeated all the top names, won the first WrestleMania match, and obviously Rollins ended up turning on the Shield. Had his big heel run, won Money in the Bank. He cashed in at WrestleMania. Probably in the second best cash-in of all time. Definitely in the top 2. Well, top 5, I meant to say. And was WWE World Heavyweight Champion for a while. Unfortunately lost the title. And then he regained it in a match against Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. In 2014, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose possibly had the best feud of that year. Ambrose, the Shield, Roman Reigns at the time was making a name for himself. He won the Royal Rumble match in 2015. He main evented WrestleMania in the same match that Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank. He finally won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the end of the year in 2015. No, at Survivor Series in 2015. And he's been like a 3-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then he's been a 3-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Rollins and Reigns fought for the belt at Money in the Bank at the same night where Ambrose won the title. And Dean Ambrose, that night, all 3 members of the Shield were WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And obviously, now the Shield has reunited because they did their own thing after the brand split. Reigns they have all been United States champion. Rollins is the only man to hold both the US and WWE title. And at the same time, anyways, I meant to say. Reigns and Ambrose have both been Intercontinental champions. Dean Ambrose is a 2-time Intercontinental champion. The Shield, Rollins and Reigns have been WWE Tag Team Champions, and Rollins and Ambrose have the Shield recently just reunited. Rollins and Ambrose were the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, and obviously because Ambrose got hurt, they had to put an end to the Shield reunion. Right now, Seth Rollins is the current one half of the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. So yeah, the Shield's gone very far. They're probably the best utilized out of any NXT guys I think you're ever going to get. Because I can't think of like a better guy that's been booked better. A guy from NXT that's been booked better. It's not saying much, but I just can't think of one. As for the other guys, Gabriel kind of became enhancement talent. He was gone out of the company in early 2015. Tyson Kidd, unfortunately, got injured shortly after this. He came back. He had that great match with Adrian Neville for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver, and really invigorated his career in NXT. Went on to become one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions for a second time, and then shortly after that was injured. And pretty much, I think he's retired now. It hasn't been said, but I think we know that. Who else? Aiden English did the whole sinning gimmick. He became one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, and pretty much is in a decent position. Tyler Breeze went on to be, I don't know if he was Tyler Breeze at this time, but went on to become one of the best guys in NXT to have like the best matches and stuff. And now it's kind of in a tag team right now. Who else was out there? And I'm not going to say Evan Bourne because I don't really know if he was out there or not. Those are all mostly like the notable names that I know are out there. So that was NXT for January 10th. I thought this was actually a pretty good episode. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I liked it because you had a new champion on this show. You had some decent matches and stuff. What kind of hurts the show watching it back is where all these guys have gone since this show. Like, I don't really get pissed off all that much about Big E Langston and Seth Rollins. I forgot to mention that Big E Langston is like a former 4-time tag team champion and one of like the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. But I get pissed off seeing where guys like Michael McGillicuddy, Adrian Neville, Paige. I don't get pissed off. I get upset. I get more upset. Emma, the Wyatt family, all in this company now. The positions and stuff. So it kind of makes it tough to watch a show like this. But whatever. That's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content. Click on the bell so that way every time you upload a video, you guys will get the notification for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and Owen the Talking Ear YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.